there is something that I wanted to come on and speak to about that's going on and how to handle what's going on because I have noticed this great divide of in my circles too. It's not a divide. It is a reluctance to be resilient. A reluctance to be resilient because a prior to prioritization of comfort over resilience. Now, I am not talking to people about that have disconnected from current events because it is greatly affecting their mental health. That is actually a really, really important thing to do. And if it is, that is not who I'm talking to. What, what and who I'm talking to and about are the people that I have noticed who keep looking at the problem, panicking at what they're seeing, getting angry, getting upset, and doing this, well, I'm just going to keep my head down and wait for it to blow over and pretend it's not happening because it's uncomfortable. This is a lack of resilience, and it's because we've never been called upon to be this resilient before. And I say we, make it easier. And so I wanted to come on and talk about a strategy because I could go on about why this exists. I will just say this one thing. There is many aspects to why the culture is the way it is. But the right to comfort is one of the tools of white supremacy. And I want to give you that phrase. Go Google and learn. Now, as to resilience calisthenics, that's what I want to bring to you because for a spiritual community who has all of these tools at their disposal on how to be resilient and fight this good fight, um, a lot of people are just doubling down on the easier thing of either bypassing it entirely, saying things are low vibrational, or burying their heads in the sand to find it only joy. Particularly if you look like I do, if you know what I mean. Because there is a tendency for people who look like I do to really enjoy the privilege of being able to look away and take a break and step away and be like, I'm just going to wait for it to blow over and hope it doesn't affect me. Yeah. And so that's why I want to be able to create some sustainability of people who want to look at it, want to be a good ally, be a good human, have empathy and strength to understand that the world is bigger than themselves and to be able to fight this, to fight what's happening, even if they're not in the trenches doing the actual fighting. You need to become the safe space for those that are. And that requires resilience. You can't just pretend it doesn't exist because you're doing harm. So, one of the scientifically proven, and I know spiritual people don't always love science, but this is a scientifically proven neuroscientists, psychiatrists, psychologists, sociologists, all of the gists have proven that this practice builds resilience, grit, tenacity, and the ability to get through chaos and dark times. And it's one that's been in this community forever, and that is the practice of gratitude. See, I knew you knew it. Now, that doesn't mean we're reframing things of I'm not going to focus on the stuff that makes me uncomfortable and angry, and I'm just going to focus on the good and just ignore the rest. No, Gratitude is there to remind us what we're fighting for, right? So we need to look at the things, witness, bear witness if that's the bare minimum you can do. Um, Speak out if you can, all of that stuff. And that's going to take a toll. It's going to hurt. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to tear you apart to see your fellow people being torn apart and fed through a machine that has been in play for a very long time. But nobody is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. And that is where this gratitude practice comes in, because we want, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I don't know if I said that already, but it's it's going to be, we're in it for the long haul. So longevity, sustainability, that means resilience training. Buy yourself a new journal if you haven't. This is the time to up your gratitude practice. It can be as simple as 3 things I'm grateful for today, but I ask you to push further. I ask you to think, what does gratitude mean to you? Is it an emotion? Is it something you only express when you receive something? Is it a lifestyle? How do people around you express gratitude? How were you taught to express gratitude? How were you taught to receive? How do you receive things? And also, how does that connect you to humanity? And how can you spread it forward? I also really like the 100 things I'm grateful for. That's a fun list. It takes a really long time. You think it's easy, but it's when you get to like 25 and you can't repeat, no repeats. Yeah, do that one too. That's a fun one. But this is a practice that needs to become spiritual hygiene. Daily if you can, weekly if you can't. No less. There is still a lot to be grateful for. And there's so much that you can do as an individual as you get more resilient and more comfortable with being uncomfortable. As always, take care of yourself and each other.